Ladies and gentlemen, the greatest battle you will ever face is not with the world around you, but with the mind within you. The mind is a restless ocean, waves of thoughts rising and falling, sometimes calm and sometimes stormy. If you do not learn to guide it, it will guide you. If you do not master it, it will master you. To control the mind is to control your life. The mind has the habit of wandering between the past and the future, pulling you into memories that no longer exist or fears that have not yet arrived. This wandering robs you of the only moment you truly possess, the present. To take hold of your mind, you must learn to anchor it in this moment, to breathe deeply, and to feel the life that is flowing right now. In this presence, your thoughts become clear, and your emotions become calm. Control of the mind does not mean suppressing your thoughts or emotions. It means observing them with awareness. When anger arises, do not become the anger. When fear appears, do not become the fear. Watch them as you would watch clouds passing through the sky. They will come, and they will go. But you remain the vast, open sky, unmoved and unshaken. Discipline of the mind is built through small practices each day. Silence, meditation, conscious breathing, and mindful action are the tools to tame the restless energy. Just as a wild horse becomes gentle through patience and consistency, the mind too learns to obey when you guide it with steadiness and compassion. And remember, the mind becomes what you feed it. If you feed it with negativity, it will poison your peace. If you feed it with wisdom, kindness, and focus, it will lead you to freedom. Choose carefully what you allow inside, for that will shape the person you are becoming. The present moment is the only reality we truly have, yet the mind is rarely content to rest here. It runs back to the past, replaying old memories, mistakes, or regrets, or it rushes forward into the future, worrying about events that may never arrive. In both directions, it steals the peace that exists now. To live in the present moment is to take back control from this restless wandering. When you are fully here, each breath becomes a reminder of life itself, each step a chance to be grounded, each heartbeat a call to return home to yourself. Training the mind to remain present does not mean the past and future have no value. We can learn from past experiences and prepare wisely for what is to come. But when the mind becomes trapped in these two extremes, it causes suffering. The past cannot be changed, and the future cannot be predicted with certainty. All that is real is unfolding right here, and when awareness rests in this moment, clarity, calmness, and strength naturally appear. To cultivate presence, one must learn to pause and observe. Feel the rhythm of your breathing, notice the sensations of your body. Hear the sounds around you without judgment. In these small acts, the mind is reminded to stay with what is happening now. With time, this practice becomes second nature, and the endless chatter within begins to quiet down. The present moment is a gift, a doorway to freedom. When you live here, joy is not postponed, peace is not delayed, and life is no longer a race. The mind learns that everything it has been seeking in the future already exists here in the stillness of now. The mind is like a sky where countless clouds of thoughts pass by. Some are bright and light, while others are dark and heavy. Yet none of them remain forever. To observe thoughts without attachment is to realize that you are not the clouds, but the vast sky itself. When a thought arises, it may tempt you to follow it, to dive into its story, to identify with its weight. But true control comes from simply noticing it, acknowledging it, and letting it drift away without clinging to it. Most suffering is born from the habit of becoming tangled in thoughts. When the mind creates a story of fear, we become the fear. When it paints a memory of pain, we become the pain again. But the reality is that thoughts are only visitors. They come to your awareness, stay for a short while, and leave if you do not hold on to them. This realization frees you from being enslaved by every idea or memory that appears. Practicing observation requires patience and awareness. When a thought comes, pause and silently tell yourself, "This is just a thought." Watch it as if you are watching a leaf floating down a stream. There is no need to chase it, no need to resist it, no need to make it bigger than it is. By doing this, you create distance between yourself and your mental noise. And in that space, peace is born. The more you watch without attachment, the more you understand that the mind is not your enemy. It is simply restless and untrained. With awareness, the storm of thoughts loses its power, and you stand in clarity. You are not what passes through the mind, you are the witness, calm and unshaken. The mind, like a restless child, requires gentle yet firm guidance every day. Discipline does not come overnight, it is cultivated through consistent practice. Just as the body becomes stronger with daily exercise, the mind too becomes steady with small acts of awareness repeated over time. Meditation, conscious breathing, silence, and mindful living are not rituals to be performed occasionally. They are tools to shape the very nature of your thoughts and emotions. When you sit in meditation, you train the mind to rest. In the beginning, it resists, pulling you in every direction, but with patience it learns to return to stillness. When you practice conscious breathing, you remind yourself that each inhale and exhale is an anchor to the present. Silence, even for a few moments each day, allows the clutter of thoughts to settle like dust in still water. And when you carry mindfulness into your actions, eating, walking, speaking, you transform ordinary moments into opportunities for mental training. This discipline is not about force or suppression, but about gentle consistency. A wild horse does not become calm through harsh control, but through patience, care, and steady practice. In the same way, the mind cannot be forced into peace, but it can be guided, moment by moment, until it learns to stay where you direct it. The fruits of this discipline are clarity, strength, and freedom. A trained mind does not fall easily into chaos when life becomes difficult. Instead, it remains centered, able to face challenges with balance. Each small practice builds resilience. Each act of awareness makes the mind less restless. Over time, the discipline of daily practice becomes a path to mastery, where the mind no longer controls you, but serves you faithfully. Emotions are powerful waves that rise and fall within the mind. They can feel overwhelming, pulling you into anger, fear, sadness, or desire. But these emotions are not who you are. They are temporary visitors. To lose yourself in them is to mistake the waves for the ocean. The practice is not to deny or suppress emotions, but to recognize them as they arise and allow them to pass without clinging. When anger comes, it may feel like fire burning inside you. But if you pause and simply watch it without judgment, you realize it has no true power unless you feed it. The same is true for fear. It grows only when you give it your attention and believe in its stories. By observing emotions instead of becoming them, you create a space between what you feel and who you truly are. In that space lies freedom. This does not mean ignoring emotions. It means acknowledging them with awareness. You can say to yourself, "I feel anger," or "I feel sadness," but you do not say, "I am anger," or "I am sadness." You are more than the passing states of the mind. They come like guests, and with patience, they leave. Through practice, emotions lose their grip. Instead of reacting blindly, you begin to respond with clarity. Instead of drowning in fear, you find courage. Instead of being consumed by sadness, you find strength. The storms within you cannot shake the one who sees them clearly. In understanding that emotions are not your identity, you take back your power. The mind no longer dictates your state of being, because you learn to stand as the witness, steady and unmoved, while emotions come and go like shadows in the light. The mind is shaped by everything it consumes. Just as the body becomes healthy or weak, depending on the food it receives, the mind too grows strong or restless, based on the thoughts, words, and influences it absorbs. If you constantly surround yourself with negativity, anger, or fear, the mind will reflect those qualities back to you. But if you nourish it with wisdom, kindness, and uplifting ideas, it will guide you toward peace and clarity. The mind is always learning, always absorbing, and it becomes what you feed it. To feed the mind with positivity does not mean ignoring the difficulties of life, but it means choosing what you allow to grow inside you. If you read, listen, and think about things that elevate your spirit, the mind will naturally incline toward calmness and strength. On the other hand, if you indulge in toxic conversations, destructive media, or harmful habits, the mind will mirror that darkness and become restless. Every word you speak, every thought you repeat, every image you allow into your awareness is like a seed planted in the soil of the mind. Over time, these seeds grow into habits, and those habits shape your destiny. By being mindful of what you allow in, you take responsibility for the garden of your inner world. Choose to feed the mind with compassion, gratitude, and wisdom. Read words that inspire, listen to voices that uplift, and spend time with those who bring peace. Slowly, the mind begins to reflect the light it is given. What once was restless becomes calm. What once was confused becomes clear. The quality of your life is deeply connected to the quality of what you feed your mind. Mastery of the mind is not achieved in a single moment, but is the result of patience and consistency. Just as a river carves valleys over centuries, through steady flow, the mind too is shaped gradually by repeated practice. Many people give up because they expect instant results, but the mind, like a wild horse, does not become calm overnight. It needs gentle guidance, persistence, and compassion over time. Patience is the recognition that true change takes time. When the mind wanders during meditation, it is not a failure. It is an opportunity to guide it back. When emotions overwhelm, it is not weakness. It is a chance to observe and learn. Each attempt, no matter how small, is progress. Every time you return to awareness, you strengthen the roots of discipline. Consistency is the steady hand that transforms these small efforts into lasting transformation. Practicing awareness only when it is convenient brings little change, but showing up daily, even in short moments, plants seeds of stability. 5 minutes of mindful breathing each day may seem insignificant, yet over time it builds a foundation of calmness that cannot be shaken easily. Together, patience and consistency form the path to mastery. Without patience, frustration will make you abandon the journey. Without consistency, progress will fade like water spilled on sand. But with both, the restless energy of the mind is tamed, and it learns to follow your guidance. When you embrace this slow yet steady process, you begin to see the fruits of your effort. The mind grows quieter, your reactions become measured, and your inner world becomes peaceful. In time, mastery does not feel like a struggle. It feels like a natural state of being. Thanks for watching.